Ireland là người Mỹ, hoặc với 5,5% du học sinh đến Ireland là người Canada. Tuy nhiên, để có thể học tập tại các trường đại học hàng đầu cả Ireland thì yêu cầu khá là khắt khe đó. Hầu như những trường này sẽ đòi hỏi phải hoàn thành chương trình quốc tế như là IB này, hoặc là A-level, hoặc phải là học sinh xuất sắc từ các trường chuyên trong nước. Thì điều này đôi khi sẽ là một cái thử thách khó đối với những bạn trẻ, đặc biệt là những bạn chưa có cơ hội để tiếp cận chương trình quốc tế. Và hôm nay em Ngân và Max A mang đến một cái chương trình rất là tốn, rất là kinh tế và vô cùng mở rộng cho các anh, các chị và các bạn học sinh. Đó chính là chương trình dự bị đại học hàng đầu Ireland, sẽ là một giải pháp rất là tuyệt vời. Chương trình này sẽ được thiết kế đặc biệt cho sinh viên quốc tế muốn theo học tại các trường danh tiếng tại Ireland, và được giảng dạy tại Đại học UniHaven ở Maynooth, một trong địa điểm rất là phát triển mà mình chỉ cách Dublin khoảng tầm 30 phút thôi. Chương trình dạy dự bị đại học hàng đầu này sẽ hỗ trợ cho các bạn học sinh đầu tiên là chuẩn bị kiến thức nè, kỹ năng cần thiết, cũng như là đáp ứng những cái yêu cầu đầu vào của các trường đại học danh tiếng tại Ireland. Và trong buổi hội thảo ngày hôm nay, em Ngân và Max A sẽ giúp các anh, các chị và các bạn học sinh có một cái cách nhìn tổng quan hơn, rõ nét hơn về cơ hội du học tại Ireland, cũng như cách thức mà mình vận dụng tối đa những lợi thế mà chương trình đại học dự bị hàng đầu này mang lại cho chúng mình. Em hy vọng rằng sau buổi hội thảo này, quý phụ huynh và các bạn học sinh có nhiều thêm thông tin hữu ích, đưa ra những quyết định sáng suốt trong chương trình du học sắp tới. Một lần nữa xin chân thành cảm ơn các sự hiện diện của các anh, các chị và các bạn học sinh. Và hôm nay chúng ta sẽ bắt đầu phần trình bày từ anh Lawrence, từ đại diện ONCAMPUS Ireland, từ UniHaven chia sẻ cùng cả nhà mình. Trong quá trình anh chia sẻ thì có những cái câu hỏi hoặc là những thắc mắc nào, mọi người có thể bó trong cái phần chat ở bên dưới, hoặc là mình có thể gửi luôn cả câu hỏi tiếng Việt ở phía dưới cũng được. Em Ngân và đội ngũ Smart A sẽ hỗ trợ dịch sang tiếng Anh và trao đổi với anh Lawrence. Hi Lawrence, thank you for writing. Could you share with us more about this program?
Fantastic. Firstly, thank you for all who is attending today. It's a great pleasure to be presenting on Campus Ireland and to presenting what Ireland has to offer for all of you that want to study in Ireland. So I'm just going to share with you a presentation that I'm going to run through. And hopefully that gives you some really good information about Ireland and what we have to offer. And then please afterwards feel free to ask any questions. So if you're happy with that, I'm going to share my presentation. Please let me know if everybody can, if this is coming through.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, fantastic. So today's presentation really is about Ireland, the town of Maynooth, where the on-campus Ireland offer is and where we run the UniHaven College program. I'm going to touch on our progression partners and student accommodation offer. So Ireland is a very, very interesting country. In fact, not many people know this, but Ireland is actually one of the richest countries in the world. It's the second wealthiest country in Europe after Luxembourg. It has the third, or should I say, it's in the top 10% of happiest nations on earth. It has one of the fastest growing GDPR growth rates globally. But most importantly, Ireland is the third safest country in the world. It's considered very safe and friendly. In fact, Lonely Planet rates Ireland as the friendliest place on the planet to visit. When we look at Ireland, it ranks consistently in the world's top 20 countries for quality of life, peace, and human development. And why that's really important, because what that means is it guarantees that when you come over to Ireland, you are going to experience a very high standard of living. Ireland ranks high on those that quality index. Ireland is also very central to the rest of Europe, so traveling around Ireland for all of our international students is very easy. But I think what's most important about this presentation is if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a little infographics that says 40% of the population is under the age of 25. So that tells you that Ireland is a very young, vibrant population. But most importantly, there's something more important around that statistic that people don't know. And that is Ireland has the most educated young population in the whole of Europe. In fact, 50.7% of Irish people between the ages of 30 and 35 all have a third level qualification. If you compare that to the rest of Europe, it's around 40.5. So very young, very vibrant, educated population, which is great for international students who are coming in to study in a market where they're going to meet other young, vibrant students just like themselves. So Ireland is known to have one of the best education systems in the world. It consistently ranks in the top 1% of research institutions, and Ireland also has institutions that are ranked in the top 500 universities in the world. And why this is very important to show is because it's a small country. So how has Ireland managed to become so successful in terms of its education system? Well, quite simply, Ireland has managed over the few years, or over the past years, I should say, to attract some of the biggest multinational companies in the world. In fact, Ireland is now considered an international hub for transnational companies. But how does that impact on education? Well, quite simply, the Irish education system is very, very aligned to industry needs. Being a small country, in order to attract international companies have to be confident that there is a labor workforce that can do the jobs that they need in order for them to grow as companies. So the Irish education system has aligned itself very closely with industry to understand what industry needs in terms of highly skilled people, not only for today, but in the future. And these industries have not only set up headquarters in Ireland, but they've also set up research hubs or research facilities. And then to add to that, the Irish universities have worked very closely with industry to align their curriculum and to develop new curriculum aligned to skills requirements. And what that means for you as an international student is that when you study in Ireland and you do a level 8 honors degree, that's going to be a 4-year degree. But part of that study is that you'll do 6 to 8 months of guaranteed work placement in the relevant field of study that you are studying. So you get in a practical work experience while you're studying in Ireland. And what that also means is that when you do your work placement and you do a really good work placement, you're potentially lining yourself up for a job offer before you've even completed your studies. Now, I know some students will say that they don't necessarily want to live and work in Ireland, but you get an exposure to large multinational companies that have branches across the globe. So potentially you have job opportunities across the globe if you get in a good work experience. Sorry, I just want to move this over. So in Ireland, I just want to explain that there's 2 types of degrees in Ireland. We have what we refer to as an ordinary degree, which is level 7. And we have an honors degree, which is a level 8 degree. Generally speaking, level 7 degrees are 3 years and level 8 are 4 years. However, there are level 8 degrees that are 3 years. The only difference with a level 8 degree that is 3 years is it doesn't have a work placement attached to it. For the guaranteed study work stay back visa that all international students qualify for when they study in Ireland on both undergrad and master studies, is that a student must do a level 8 degree to qualify for the stay back work visa. This is a very, very exciting part of what I believe is an important part of the presentation, because when anybody talks to you about higher education, they're always going to tell you it's a great way to kickstart your career. And for a number of reasons. When you're in Ireland, you can work 20 hours per week while you're studying, up to 40 hours per week during the holiday periods, and you obviously qualify for the 1 or the 2-year stay back visa. But why I say that this is a way of kickstarting your career specifically for Ireland, and I spent many years in higher education. The last 20 years I've been in UK higher education. Ireland is very different. And I always talk about the cost opportunity, in that you're going to be spending a lot of money to study abroad. Ireland is very affordable in terms of its academic costs, but most importantly, when you complete your studies in Ireland, you're only competing against around about 25,000 international students in one of the fastest growing economies in the world. If you graduate as an international student right now in the UK, you're competing against 640,000 international students. And for the US and Australia, that number is even bigger. So you don't have to be very, very good at maths to understand your cost opportunity aligned to the potential work opportunity, because you're coming into a market that's growing at a rapid pace, desperately looking for highly skilled people, and you're only competing against another 25,000 international students when you graduate. So when we look at Ireland, Ireland has a very high employment graduation rates. Within the first 9 months, it shows that 82% of graduates are employed after they complete their studies. I'm going to touch on this very, very quickly because I did mention Ireland has now become an international hub for transnational companies. Ireland is home to some of the largest economic sectors, being technology and IT, pharmaceuticals and biotechnology, financial services, agriculture, food and production, tourism, medical devices, renewable energy, education and research, chemicals, and construction and real estate. So if you're coming into Ireland and you're studying any degree in those areas, you are getting exposed to some of the biggest international economic sectors in Europe. So another very important slide for me, because I think that pictures paint 1,000, or a picture says 1,000 words or paints 1,000 words, that the saying is, in that most importantly, Ireland's economy is one of the fastest growing in Europe, making it very attractive for international students. But this is what's really important, and a lot of people don't know this. If you look over here, you'll see that Ireland is 106. That is the second highest in the whole of Europe. UK, the GDP growth, or the GDP earning rate per capita, is only 51. So you can see the level of earnings in Ireland is much higher per capita, measured at a per capita calculation. And what that means for you is it's able to show that Ireland is highly productive, because GDP per capita is measured by the average citizen's product, production, and output into the economy. So it's a small country with a smaller labor force than the UK, but it's far more productive. In fact, it's far more productive than all countries in Europe, apart from Luxembourg. So this is a country that is really growing and looking for highly skilled people, because it needs to keep that growth rate going. And to keep that growth rate going, it needs to attract highly skilled people. And the best way to do that is through education. So the town of Maynooth is where we operate from. Maynooth is one of the oldest student towns in Ireland. It's a very, very beautiful student town. We call it a traditional student town because the university, everything around the town revolves around the university. So your eating facilities, entertainment, sports facilities, everything is geared towards students. It is a traditional old student town, but with it comes a very modern Maynooth University. And it's a perfect location for you as a student because, one, it's only 25 kilometers west of Dublin, which is ideal for students who want to experience a city life while enjoying a more relaxed campus environment. So getting in and out of Maynooth to Dublin is very, very easy. In fact, the time it does take directly on the Maynooth is around 25 to 30 minutes maximum. The UniHaven College program is what I want to highlight now, which is very, very important for all of you, in that you'll notice on the bottom left-hand side, there's a logo that says QQI Award. This is very important for you as a student, because what that tells you is that as a provider and as a qualification, it has been quality assessed by QQI. QQI is Quality Qualifications Ireland. They oversee all higher education in Ireland, and any international student that comes into Ireland who wants to study and work can only do that at an institution that offers a QQI Quality Qualifications Award. In the near future, there will be the implementation of IEM, which will be the International Education Mark. The International Education Mark will be a requirement for all higher education institutions to apply to, and to apply to that, they must have a QQI award. What it also guarantees you is it guarantees you that our qualification sits on the Irish NFQ. That means it sits at an Irish NFQ level of 5, and it carries over European ECT credit transfers. So let's say, for instance, you were studying in Ireland and decided you wanted to go study in Germany or another EU country. Those ECT credits would be recognized. How they would get you into university depends on the institution, because each institution does its own mapping exercise, but those ECT credits are transferable. For Ireland, we have, and I'm happy to say the number has gone up. It's not 12 anymore. We have around 14 partners. When we talk about progression partners, these progression partners will give you a guaranteed offer at their university at a place, so long as you complete the foundation program successfully. So on enrollment to the UniHaven Foundation, you'll get a guaranteed conditional offer with your university that you've chosen, so long as it's one of our progression partners. When you do our foundation, you'll have 2 foundation pathways. We have a business and social sciences pathway, and we have an engineering and science pathway. What's important to note is that if you are studying medical, allied medical subjects, you would choose the engineering and science pathway. I'll give you an example. You'll see down below, you'll see optional modules. There are 4 optional modules for both streams. If you were studying medicine, you would choose engineering and science, and you would choose biology and chemistry as your 2 optional modules. If you were, let's say, studying IT or engineering, you would choose physics and computer science. So you have a wide variety of options. On your business and social sciences, there is a compulsory maths module, which is ordinary mathematics. For your engineering and science, it's higher maths. You then have to do intercultural studies and communications, and EAP, English for academic purposes. Your EAP, English for academic purposes, is benchmarked against a CELT B1 qualification, or if you refer to IELTS, it's benchmarked against an IELTS qualification. So an IELTS equivalent of 6.5 would be an EAP score of 60%. So that means that when you enter onto the foundation, you're entering with, let's say, an IELTS 5 or an IELTS 5.5. When you progress and you complete your studies, there's no need for you to redo an IELTS, because your EAP, English for academic purposes module, covers your English language requirements. Our progression partners, we have a number of progression partners, which I've highlighted over here. We have Maynooth University, Dublin City University, Munster Technological University, St. Patrick's Pontifical University, Holmes Institute, University College Cork, University of Limerick, RIME, Royal Irish Academy of Music, independent colleges, South East Technological University, Setu, Royal College of Surgeons, Ireland, and we have also added St. George's University in here because of medical placements, and it is quite difficult to get into medicine, so we have an alternative for students who aren't able to get into an Irish university. We have 2 new partners that will be coming on board soon, TU Dublin and City Colleges. With our university partners, it's important to note that Ireland has 2 types of universities. We have a traditional university pathway, and we have a technological university pathway. People often ask, what is the difference between traditional university and a technological university? It's very, very simple. Both are the same. Both award the same level 7, level 8, or level 8 degree awards. The only difference is that the technological universities were set up to focus on STEM subjects. So they don't have a broad variety of traditional subjects that you'll find at traditional universities, and that could be psychology, biology, right the way through to geography. So those are the main differences. You'll also find your technological universities focus more on practical outcomes-based learning, and they're very unique in their offer. I'll give you a very, very good example. Let's say you are interested in studying engineering. Munster Technological University have launched a very unique engineering qualification that was developed in collaboration with 50 of Ireland's largest engineering companies, one being Oculus, and I'm sure you all know Oculus, the headsets that do virtual reality and screening. If you do the Munster Technological Ready degree for engineering, you do 2 years of studying and then 2 years of guaranteed work placement working on a large engineering project, and that's paid work placement. So very, very unique, very niche offer. And that just gives you an idea the difference between the technological universities offering quite innovative degree programs, where you'll find your traditional universities are quite traditional in the setup of their degrees. When you study at UniHaven or ONCAMPUS Ireland, in your first semester, we will take you to open days at our university partners. You will do university visits, and we'll provide you with degree counseling and advice. This is just in case you at any stage want to change the degree that you've chosen. We also, in the second year, will take you for guest lectures at our university partners. So you start embedding yourself into the campus and the university environment. It's a nice way to prepare you for your first year of studies. Our student accommodation is in Point Campus. It's very, very modern student accommodation. You have everything from study spaces to study pods, gaming pods, cinema rooms, rooftop gardens, laundry rooms. There's 24/7 security. For students who are under the age of 18, they must stay in host family accommodation. We have host family accommodation networks. And for students who don't want to stay in student accommodation, there are obviously options to do rented accommodation and student accommodation blocks. I, however, would encourage all of our students to stay together in one accommodation. It allows you to build a network of friends, meet other international students, and prepare you for the coming years. The prices for the ensuite accommodation for the term is €4,400. I must stress that accommodation in Ireland is quite difficult to get. So the sooner you work with Smart A on doing your application and identifying your accommodation, the better. And I'm just going to give you a quick example of why I think Ireland is such a good study destination for international students. Because one of the study costs, Ireland is a very, very affordable country to study. And I've done a quick comparison of different type of degree qualifications. And you can see that in Ireland, you can do a very, very high or enroll in a very, very high ranked QS top university. And you're going to be spending in the region of around €142,000. If you compare that to the UK, that same degree would be close to 200 plus thousand. So very, very significant savings if you're comparing like for like universities. You can even go down to low private institutions where the fees will only cost you for your studies €85,000. Ireland has lots of work opportunities, especially for part-time work. The average salary, part-time salary in Ireland is, or minimum salary, I should say, in Ireland is €12.70. So let's say, for instance, you are working part-time, doing your 20 hours or your 40 hours. You can quickly see that you can cover your accommodation costs and some of your living expenses. You will see that the average food spend for students ranges around 150 to 200 per month. But to be fair, that cost is really done on students who eat out a lot. You might be a student that doesn't eat out a lot and wants to cook for yourself. You'll find you can bring down those costs. The average transport cost in Ireland traveling between Dublin and Maynooth is only €1, so very, very cheap. And you'll see the average salary expectation for pharmacists, IT consultants, doctors and nurses, software developers and data science is very good. Pharmacists are earning graduate salaries of around €74,000, while software developers are 62,000. I can tell you that in Ireland, the average salary is anywhere between 10 to 15% higher than that of the UK. And that's because of that fast-growing GDP growth rate per capita. So that's it in a nutshell, as we would say in Ireland. I didn't want to go into too much detail on presentations because I know it's quite difficult to sit online and listen to me drone on. So hopefully I've given you quite a lot of information that I think is useful in terms of Ireland and the program we offer. But please, over to any questions. Let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully I can answer them for you.
So thank you, Alphonse, for your sharing. Can I have some question for you? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Can you come back to your slide, and I have some question about this. The first one is about the okay, so come to the accommodation first. Okay, so this is a campus accommodation in the campus, right? And you said that for the student it's below 18, it must stay at the host family accommodation, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so my daughter will be 18 in the middle of January, and I understand that the course will be start around January as well, right? So
that's right, yeah.
So is he eligible to stay at the accommodation of campus?
Yeah, I think given that she's turning 18 in such a close period to the studies, it wouldn't be a problem.
It's no problem, right?
That's right, yes.
Okay, so that's do I need to get the? I remember in case the student is below 18, they need to get some certificate or some guarantee, right?
Yeah, so what we would do is we would work with you and the accommodation provider to provide letter of consent. That you've agreed that she will be staying in accommodation until and you don't mind that she is staying there while before she turns 18.
Okay, so that means it's possible for my daughter to stay in the accommodation at campus if she turn in 18 around middle of January.
Yes. Yes, it shouldn't be a problem. What we would do is check with the accommodation providers is that they have during that period of time there is a person that is assigned as a guardian, just to make sure that should your daughter require any help or assistance, that there is a guaranteed guardian available.
Okay, fine. So is this easy to register accommodation at campus?
So this accommodation is in Dublin. It's a 25 to 80-minute train. It's a straight train directly into Maynooth. All of our students take it. We do offer a shuttle bus service also going in, but we find that most students prefer to travel on the tram in their own time, because when they're studying, their classes will be normally in the morning until the afternoon, so they've got the full day available for them, and they're not going to be studying all the time, so they like to travel around and see parts of Ireland in their own time. There is, if you are looking for accommodation in Maynooth, we do have private accommodation providers that can accommodate your daughter if she wants to stay in Maynooth.
Okay. Okay, understand your point. This is convenient to reach to the accommodation from the accommodation to the campus, right? But my question here, the campus have enough accommodation for all students or not?
So we have guaranteed accommodation for all of our foundation students.
Okay, perfect. So the next thing I want to clarify, can my daughter cook by herself if she stay at the accommodation?
Yes, so the accommodation, depending on the type of room she chooses, she could choose a room that shares a kitchen with maybe 3 or 4 rooms, other rooms. So it just depends on the type of room that she wants to choose. All rooms are separate, and there's no sharing of female or male facilities. It's all separated by female or male facilities. And then obviously, as I said, if they're looking for kitchen facilities, those are available, yes.
Okay, perfect. Where I can get the more information about the accommodation? Can I access to your website and see more information about it soon?
Yeah, there'll be information on the website around the accommodation. If you need any additional information, happy to provide it to Smart A. Any questions, just let us know, and we'll be able to help you with those questions. So, yeah, just let us know what you're looking for.
Cool. Thank you. So next thing I want to know, you said that Iceland is one of the most beautiful in the world, right? Can you give me an example to illustrate the statement?
So if you look on the Peace Index, the Global Peace Index, you'll see the rankings of all countries. For that, Ireland normally sits within the top 10. The last time I checked, it was around it was ranked 3rd in the world.
But who assess, who make the mark, and it's based on which criteria?
So the Global Peace Index is based on a number of criteria. It will obviously be looking at crime in the country. It looks at people visiting the country. It looks at politics, geopolitics, so governments' involvement in politics globally. It's quite a complex a data set that they look at. There are a number. If you would like me to find you more data on the Peace and Global Index, also happy to do that. But I would say a good thing for you to do is, if you look on YouTube, YouTube has a number of channels that talk about Ireland as a country, but most importantly, they talk about how Ireland has become so successful. And when you view those videos, you can quickly see that Ireland has taken a very, very diplomatic approach to growing its economy, and to do that, it's attracting people. And to attract the right people, you have to have the right environment.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your sharing. Okay, so on your point of view and on your experience, can you make a suggestion for me? What is the safer, stay in the campus accommodation of campus or host family accommodation?
So sorry, could you clarify the question for me? So I didn't get it all.
Because this is you see, my daughter is turned to 18 soon, but anyway, I'm still worried about her. So I'm really wonder which I should choose the accommodation of campus or let her stay at the host family accommodation. What is the better? What is the pros and cons? Can you make the comparison for me?
I think it comes down to really family and upbringing. And I'll give you an example. When you stay at a host family, you're going to be staying at a family who potentially has family members. They have family members, maybe another daughter, maybe another son. You're going to be sharing the house with them. You'll have your own room, but more than likely you're going to be sharing bathroom and kitchen facilities. But most importantly, that host family is going to be providing your son or your daughter with it could be breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they will be making sure that your daughter and your son are traveling safely to and from accommodation, but they're coming home at a certain time because they'll want to know when are they coming home, and they'll treat them. They're going to treat them. I wouldn't say they'll treat them exactly like a family member, but they'll treat them as a host. Whereas if your son or your daughter is staying in the private accommodation, they're not going to have that. They're going to be treated as an adult, meaning that they're going to be expected to come in, live by the rules of the accommodation, but they do their own thing.
Okay.
So it really, for me, I'm a parent myself. It just depends on the personality of your son and daughter. I can tell you, my son, who is 17, he wouldn't want to stay in a host family accommodation. He would want to stay in his own accommodation and feel like he has the freedom of all other international students. But that's his personality. He doesn't need to be around adults or want to be around adults, if I can say that. My daughter, on the other hand, her personality is she must probably like to have a potential adult to talk to and to go to if she needs any help. But saying that, on the ONCAMPUS Ireland offer, we have dedicated staff members that are there to help your sons and your daughters to accommodate, and if they have any problems or they need any assistance or they need any help, our staff are there to help them.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you a lot. So the last question, can you come to the to bad way, right? The business. I'm not remember the slide. Can you move to slide to explain the two costs, the two pathway? No.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
The previous this one. So my daughter want to choose the BA, the business analytics. So what the bad way she should choose, the business social science or engineering and science?
So she wants to do a BA. Okay. And is she looking to at any point then specialize in a specific area of BA studies, and that could be going into masters? Because obviously BA, Bachelor of Economics, has a variety of different career pathways. I'll give you an example. One could be in international business. If you're doing a BA and you're looking at international business, then I would say you're then going to look at business studies and global politics as the two modules that you would choose.
Okay, so can choose either, right?
Sorry, say that again.
Sorry, I'm still not clear on your suggestion. Which should we choose? Either or what? Okay,
so if you look down here on the table, you'll see that there are 4 optional modules.
Yes.
Of those 4 optional modules, she would choose 2. So given what you've said, I would say she would be looking at business studies as one, and global politics as the second module.
Okay, understand. That means she will choose the business and social science, and then the optional module is the business study and global politics.
100%. And then she would do the other 3 compulsory modules, which is mathematics ordinary, intercultural studies and communication, and EAP, English for academic purposes.
Okay, got it. So thank you, iPhone. It's very
thank you. Very good questions.
Okay, I see that we have rewrite some questions from here. The first question from Yi Phạm. Here asking was born 2005 and she has high school CPA of 8.0 and S scores 5.5, but when man has 4.0. consider gap year before apply to Campus Ireland, and it would be possible to apply a 1 year gap year and an IELTS band of 4.0.
So no, our entry requirements is the minimum IELTS of 5 with no component less than 4.5 in listening, speaking, and I think it's reading or yeah, right, reading. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so
All right,
because
but what?
yeah.
So just on that, we accept IELTS, we accept TOEIC, TOEFL. There we also accept at the moment is Duolingo. If somebody is looking at, and I shouldn't say this, but actually the easiest scoring for a self-qualification right now is Duolingo. So if somebody is hovering around 4.5 and they need to get it up to a 5, I would suggest that they take the online Duolingo and see how they perform there.
Như thầy Lauren có chia sẻ thì cái điểm IELTS của mình á, em có thể có một cái band 4 chấm nhưng mà nó sẽ ném một vài skill ra ha, thì em có thể inbox cho chị hoặc là Smart A để hỗ trợ thêm. Ngoài ra thì mình có thể làm một cái bài test là Duolingo, thì cái bài này mình sẽ có thể kiểu như cái band điểm của mình có thể tương đương như cái band IELTS của mình vẫn có thể chấp nhận được. Next question from yeah.
Sorry, just to go back, I'm not sure I got all of the question, but we take students who have completed in Vietnam successfully completed their grade 11.
Okay, so I see the question from Phương Mai. She asked, this year I'm hand raised and want to study medicine in Ireland and plan to follow university preparation for grade 11 and then change to CSA, and she want to share with her the trends of Campus Ireland.
Okay, I didn't really understand all, but I will say for medicine, it's very, very difficult to get places. So it's really going to be down to the places that are available. We can't give a guaranteed offer for medicine because of the clinical places. And once a student completes foundation, they must still go through an interview and do their medical tests to get in. We can, however, well, what I always suggest is that you apply to maybe 3 or 4 different universities at the same time, just in case you can't get your place for medicine. We do offer the Castell IMCP International Medical Commencement Program, and that provides students with a guaranteed place on completion. However, it's a different foundation. It is quite expensive. It costs around 25,000 euros, but there are only limited seats, and I can't guarantee you a place on the IMCP until the application system opens. But I would work with Smart A to help you with that. So there's 2 options. You can either do the UniHaven Foundation, but I can't give you a guaranteed offer for medicine. It would come down to you completing it and then the university doing their interview and the entrance exam. Or we could potentially, if there are places, offer you the IMCP. That's a guaranteed place, but I can't. It's a guaranteed place into university on successful completion, but I can't tell you that I've got places now. So I've more than likely confused things, but it's just to try and explain the different options for medicine.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Thank
mình
you.
thấy câu hỏi của
Tâm
bạn
ơi,
cô.
để chị giải thích
Yeah.
hơn một chút nhé. Chào các bạn, mình sẽ nói thêm một chút về cái chương trình của bạn Phương Mai. Bạn Phương Mai đang quan tâm đến chương trình liên quan đến Y. Thì em để ý rằng là với như là thầy Lawrence vừa nói thì là cái chương trình Y là bên trường dự bị sẽ không thể đảm bảo được suất. Y ở đây là bác sĩ á. Thì sẽ kể cả chương trình của RCSI hay là ở bên TIFC thì đều sẽ không bao giờ có thể đảm bảo được chắc chắn cho em là có được suất để vào đào tạo về bác sĩ. Và em biết Y là khó bậc nhất rồi. Thế thế cho nên là để được học y thì rất khó khăn. Cho nên là cái hành trình y là bạn sẽ phải chuẩn bị rất nhiều, kể cả ở bất cứ nước nào cũng như vậy, và tìm hiểu rất kỹ. Cho nên nếu mà bạn thích y thì bạn cũng có thể tìm một số cái ngành gọi là ngành cận ngành y, và đắt hơn có thể nhờ thầy trao đổi thêm một số cái ngành ở RCSI cũng có cái tỷ lệ việc làm rất là tốt, và cái đầu vào của nó dễ dàng hơn, hoặc là tìm hiểu về ngành dược. Xin cảm ơn ạ.
Dạ em cảm ơn chị nghe. Câu hỏi tiếp theo là em thấy của từ bạn Ngô Tini. Bạn hỏi là bạn đã rớt visa du học Úc rồi do chứng minh tài chính, thì mình có bị ảnh hưởng nhiều cho đến cái hồ sơ xin du học ở Ireland hay không? Thì cái phần này Ngân có thể chia sẻ như thế này. Visa Úc của mình dạo này hơi khó ấy. Mình hoàn toàn có thể xin lại ở bên Ireland. Tất nhiên mình không thể đảm bảo 100%, nhưng mà Ireland có những cái tiêu chuẩn khác và hoàn toàn mình có thể xin lại ha. Thì bạn có thể inbox mình hoặc là cho đội ngũ Smart A để bên mình hỗ trợ xem về tài chính cho bạn. Okay, so the next question we have about ways for me. Yeah. Roland, when does September intake 2025 open for application?
So you can start. So we have two intakes. We have January 25 and September 25. The application system opens. You can apply now for both. Just be aware of when we apply for, if you're applying for September 25, we won't be able to get you your conditional offer from the university until their systems open, which is much closer to the September enrollment date. So you all have your guaranteed place in our offer, but we just won't be able to give you the actual university conditional offer for September 25 right now. For January intake, we can get you your offers right now for January.
Okay, got it. So how much will the tuitions for the university preparatory program cost?
Sorry, say that again.
Sorry. How much will the tuitions for the university preparatory program cost?
So there's two that depends on the university.
Yeah.
You're talking about university undergrad costs? Is this what the
Sorry,
question?
sorry, Lauren. I want to clarify this question. She wants to ask about the tuition fee of our foundation cost.
Okay, the tuition fee for our foundation cost is
Mhm.
17,950. That includes your book, LMS registration and insurance fees. The course fee is 15,900. But we do offer all our international students from Vietnam a scholarship, which is a 2,000 euro scholarship for all international students.
Okay, so what's the maximum age for the university foundation program?
What is the?
The maximum age for the university.
For
University.
IELTS
Yes.
for the university. Yes.
No,
okay,
no,
so
no. The
The
question
age,
is
the age.
the age that we can accept students, like 24, 25, for example.
there is
Sorry.
no age gap
Mm.
for Irish institutions. So you could be 21, you could be 30, you could be 50, join the university courses. The only thing you need to consider when you are doing is to consider the visa application. So when you make your application for the visa authorities, they will want to try to see that you can demonstrate that you're a genuine student. So let's say, for instance, you haven't studied for the last 5 or 6 years, and you want to then say that you are going to start studying in Ireland. What the visa authorities will want to understand is how come there is a gap in your studies. So you need to be able to explain the gap. Now, there could be a number of reasons. It could be that you were saving financially to be able to support your studies and move forward to study in Ireland. It could be that you fell ill or were in hospital. There are a number of reasons, but the visa authority will want to see that you can clearly explain and articulate why there is a gap in your studies. But ultimately, there is no cap on age or age limit for undergrad studies or master studies in Ireland.
If the student find studying difficult, I can ask whether the school has any design mentor or for students.
If the sorry, repeat that. The sound is quite bad. Repeat that.
She asked if he study difficult, so she asked whether the school had any the mentor for the student.
Mentors, yes. So
Yes, mentor.
yeah, so we have student support officers. The student support officers work with each student during their studies to make sure that they are in line to pass their studies with the required grade for the university they're going to. We do not have big classes. Our big classes are maximum 20. The requirement is no less than 15, no more than 20 per class. So our student mentors will work very closely with every student in the class to make sure they're in line to pass. If the students are not doing well and they are falling behind on their studies, the mentors will work with them to either guide them in the right direction, provide them with additional support and homework, but ultimately it is the reliance on the student working hard to get through the programs.
Okay, thank you, Lawrence. So, em thấy cái câu hỏi của chị Hà Nhi đang tìm hiểu cho bạn đang học lớp 11 đấy ạ. Chắc câu hỏi này em sẽ nhờ chị Nga hỗ trợ giúp em ạ.
Vâng, chào các chị, em là Nga ở công ty Smart đây. Em thấy chị Hà Nhi có hỏi là chị muốn tìm hiểu cho con gái đang học lớp 11 và dự định dự học dự bị. Tuy nhiên chị phân vân rằng lớp 11 thì sẽ không có bằng tốt nghiệp trung học phổ thông ở Việt Nam. Và nếu học dự bị đại học rồi học lên đại học bên Ireland thì có bằng cấp hay chứng chỉ nào công nhận đã tốt nghiệp trung học phổ thông không? Với việc không có bằng trung học phổ thông có ảnh hưởng gì không nếu chẳng may học bên đó mà dở dang về vấn đề nào đó? Thực ra thì cái chương trình dự bị đại học thì nó không phải là cái chương trình mới mẻ. Nó đã là cái chương trình từ rất nhiều năm nay rồi và ở các nước khác cũng rất phổ biến. Ví dụ như là trước đây các bạn đi các bạn đi chương trình dự bị đại học ở Úc hay ở Canada, các bạn đã đi rất nhiều và ngày trước cách đây khoảng tầm gần chục năm thì chúng em cũng hay phải trả lời câu hỏi là chương trình dự bị đại học thì nếu không học đến hết lớp 12 trung học phổ thông thì có sao không? Thì thực tế là khi tốt nghiệp cái chương trình dự bị đại học thì các bạn sẽ lát em sẽ hỏi là bên ONCAMPUS xem họ có một cái certificate gì hay không. Thế tuy nhiên thì cái chương trình dự bị đại học thì các bạn có thể vào các trường đại học lớn và không có vấn đề gì cả. Và thực tế là trong rất nhiều học sinh của bên em đi học dự bị đại học ở các nước thì chưa một bạn nào gặp vấn đề về việc là các bạn phải học dang dở. Trong đó có một bạn là cũng học chương trình dự bị đại học ở tại Ireland và sau đó thì gia đình quyết định chuyển sang Canada bởi vì là nhà bạn chuyển sang định cư ở Canada thì bạn cũng không có vấn đề gì chị ạ. Bạn chuyển bình thường, bạn chuyển từ đại học học chương trình dự bị xong bạn vào trường đại học Cork và sau đó thì bạn chuyển sang bên đại học Saskatchewan ở bên Canada và học ngành dược, là cái ngành cực kỳ khó ở Canada và không hề có vấn đề gì cả. Thế cho nên là cái chương trình dự bị đại học nó đã là chương trình được công nhận rộng rãi toàn cầu rồi. Em xin hỏi chị Hà Nhi là chị có đang quan tâm về vấn đề là quay lại Việt Nam không ạ? Thì alo.
Hello.
Vâng, tức là hiện nay thì cái chương trình dự bị đại học nó là chương trình phổ biến lắm chị ạ. Cho nên là nó đang không có vấn đề gì cả. Đó, thế thì và sau này khi mà trong các cái phần công việc thì người ta sẽ xem bằng cấp cuối cùng của con thôi, chứ người ta sẽ không xem bằng trung học phổ thông nữa. Kể cả mà chị có làm trong nhà nước đi chăng nữa thì người ta cũng sẽ xem cái bằng cuối cùng của bạn hoặc cùng lắm là bằng đại học thôi. Chứ cái bằng trung học phổ thông thì theo em biết là thường bây giờ cũng ít nơi người ta xem lại cái bằng trung học phổ thông nếu mà các trường đại học và các bằng thạc sĩ vân vân của các bạn là ổn ạ. Còn ai có
Dạ
câu
vâng.
hỏi gì không ạ?
Em cũng xin
Dạ.
bổ sung một chút với chị Nga là tất cả các chương trình dự bị đại học của On Campus tại Ireland, tại Anh, ví dụ thế khi các bạn về Việt Nam công nhận, khi sau đó các bạn học lên đại học và về Việt Nam công nhận văn bằng thì cũng không có một cơ quan nhà nước, cũng không có của Bộ Giáo dục Đào tạo cũng không có yêu cầu phải xem bằng cấp 3 của các bạn đâu ạ. Các bạn sẽ nộp kèm cái chứng chỉ dự bị đại học kèm bằng đại học của các bạn để công nhận và các bạn vào nhà nước làm việc bình thường ạ.
Vâng, cảm ơn chị Quỳnh Anh. Thế thì bây giờ là chị Hà Nhi có thể yên tâm ạ, bởi vì là chương trình dự bị đại học này thì không hề mới mẻ một chút nào. Thế và đã rất quen thuộc rồi ạ. Có ai có câu hỏi gì đặt thêm cho thầy Lawrence không ạ? Dạ.
Hi, Lauren, can you share more about other major of RCSI? So instead of medicine, students can have option.
Yeah, definitely. We're very excited in that with RCSI, we do have guaranteed places for students who want to study MPharm, physiotherapy, and advanced therapeutics technologies. I'm going to highlight advanced therapeutics technologies, but first I would like to say, for anybody who's coming to Ireland, MPharm is a very well sought after qualification. It is a 5-year qualification because the MPharm has a built-in master's, and what that means for you as a student is that when you complete your MPharm, you don't have to go out and get an industry placement. You can start working straight away. And the average salary in Ireland, depending on where you're going to work, range anywhere from 40 right up to 75,000 euros for your graduation or as a graduate employed. But where I'd like to, what I'd like to talk about, and I'm happy at some point, even when I come over, is to do some type of a presentation or talk on advanced therapeutics technologies. Advanced therapeutics technologies is the next big industry in terms of the medical industry or where medicine is going. I'm sure you will all know that there is all talk about AI and the advancements of AI and how powerful AI is and how it's changing the work landscape. Well, I worked in the NHS, and one of the biggest projects we were working on is how AI was going to move into medicine and start doing what doctors and nurses and surgeons were studying to do, because AI has the ability to not only influence the way we work, but how we produce things. So advanced therapeutics technologies is the study around the use of advanced technologies or AI in the production, the use and distribution of medicine. So anybody who has an interest in IT technology, but also in the allied health sciences, this is an amazing new field of study, because it puts you right in the middle of the biochemistry or the biofirm industry. And that's a massive industry within Ireland, but not only in Ireland, within the whole world. So it's a very exciting new, and it's a brand new degree pathway. For any of our students that do our foundation, they'll have a guaranteed offer for RCSI, both in pharmacy, in physiotherapy, and in advanced therapeutics technologies.
Dạ vâng ạ, thì em xin phép dịch lại một chút cái ý này của thầy ạ. Dạ vâng, thì cũng như rất là nhiều cái phụ huynh và cũng các em học sinh thì đều có mong ước là đi du học và mình có thể học ngành y. Nhưng như chị Nga cũng có chia sẻ, ngành y là một con đường rất là dài và cũng rất là chông gai. Và ở Ireland thì thực ra học sinh cũng có thể lựa chọn một con đường nó gọi là nó bằng phẳng hơn một chút, cơ hội việc làm rất là nhiều. Có thể thứ nhất là vào trường RCSI có ví dụ là chương trình dược đó thì học sinh cũng có thể có cơ hội việc làm rất rộng mở và lương rất là cao sau 5 năm học. Ngoài ra thì có chương trình là Advanced Therapeutic Therapy, thì thực ra cái ngành này hiện tại ở Việt Nam mình còn chưa có tên dịch ra chuẩn bằng tiếng Việt. Đây là ngành công nghệ trị liệu y tế tiên tiến. Và hiện tại thì đang có nhu cầu về nghề nghiệp cũng như là những học sinh học ngành này rất là lớn ở bên Ireland ạ. Vì đây là chương trình học áp dụng AI, trí tuệ nhân tạo, công nghệ và y học. Và bởi vì sau này, thực ra khi sau này thì ngành y sẽ không thể chỉ là bác sĩ và dùng lâm sàng để khám, mà sử dụng công nghệ và cũng như là máy móc rất là nhiều. Nên khi những bạn học những chương trình này thì cái cơ hội đầu ra của các bạn cũng rất là rộng mở ạ. Và các bạn hoàn toàn có thể nghĩ đến những cái chương trình này học, cái con đường đi nó sẽ trơn tru hơn một chút, nó sẽ gọi là nó sẽ ngắn hơn một chút, nhưng cái cơ hội đầu ra thì không hề thua kém gì về việc học y ạ. Dạ vâng ạ, em xin phép ạ. Thank you, Lauren.
No, no,
Quỳnh,
thanks.
yes. Quỳnh Anh ơi, em có thể trao đổi cùng với cả nhờ thầy Lawrence trao đổi một chút về cái ngành so sánh giữa cái ngành Business Analytics ấy, với cả những cái ngành như là BIS, thì cái cơ hội việc làm mà cũng như là cơ hội phát triển ở tại Ireland và châu Âu như thế nào không em? Vì chị biết là thầy Lawrence không chỉ có kinh nghiệm ở tại Ireland mà còn cả Anh và các nước khác nữa.
Vâng ạ. Hi Lawrence, can you compare between business analytics and BIS in Europe in general about the job opportunity? Do
Oh,
you have any information about that?
that's a difficult question. No,
Yes.
I'd have to do some research and come back to you on that.
Dạ vâng chị Nga ơi, câu này chắc là thầy sẽ xin phép gửi lại mình bằng cái bản thông tin chi tiết sau ạ.
Ok, cảm ơn em.
So if there's
Thank you very
anything,
much, Lawrence. Yeah.
sorry, Karen.
Yes, Lauren, it's also my concern as well. My daughter now is wondering between the business analytics and BIS as well. But in some time when I go to the training schedule, I saw that the BIS is more on the computer science and requires more on the mathematics.
That's right. So anything to do with analytics, there will be a strong focus on your mathematics. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned about the AI. So do you have any recommendation for the AI applicable to the finance or the business? Is there any sector, any subject or study I can consider?
Yeah, there's quite a lot. I'll tell you what I will do is let me do some research. Let me pull up the sectors in Ireland where AI, finance, and business all come together, and then we can then try to identify what are the potential career opportunities, and are they aligned to what your daughter is interested in.
Yeah, thank you a lot. And I saw your comparison between you have a slide to talk about the salary expectation, right? And I'm so I'm so disappointed when I saw that the data analysis is the lowest.
It's the lowest. The data analytics.
Lowest, yeah.
It's
not the lowest, right? Nurse is lowest, but it's
yeah. It is, but it's going to change, and I'll tell you why. Ireland is looking to become the AI and data warehouse capital for Europe. So I think they're building, and don't quote me on this, but I think they're building around about another 7 or 8 of Europe's biggest data warehouses at the moment. But I'll also try and pull up some of that data for you. And then I'll share it with Smart A, and they can share it with anybody who's interested in data, fintech, AI, business, any of those industries.
Cool. Thank you a lot. It's really useful to me.
My pleasure, absolute pleasure. So happy to answer any other questions. I'm sorry if I didn't get all the questions, but it's quite difficult. It's quite difficult to hear sometimes.
Dạ, dạ không biết là các anh chị và các bạn học sinh mình còn câu hỏi nào với thầy Lawrence nữa không ạ? Dạ, hiện tại thì em cũng chưa thấy nhận thêm câu hỏi từ các quý anh chị. Vậy em xin phép kết thúc buổi webinar của chúng ta ngày hôm nay. Thì em Ngân và Smart A cảm ơn các bạn đã dành thời gian tham dự nè. Và đặc biệt nếu như sau cái buổi webinar này mọi người có câu hỏi hoặc thắc mắc cần hỗ trợ thêm, mọi người có thể liên hệ với bên Smart A của bên chúng em, hoặc là chúng em sẽ có một cái số hotline ấy, em sẽ gửi cho mọi người. Bên em sẽ hỗ trợ câu hỏi cho mọi người ấy ạ. Yeah. Hi Lawrence, if maybe stop right now because we don't have really more question. So,
Yes.
hey, can you stop, but I think it done. Okay, it's okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that again. My humble apologies.
Okay. I say we will stop right now because the
Okay.
question we don't have it right. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. I would just,
Yeah.
I'd just love to thank. Oh, sorry, is there more question?
Yeah. Hi, Lawrence. There seems to be no more question now. And it's 1 hour or more than 1 hour already. And thank you very much for today. And your presentation is just super today. And I think that for other questions, the student and the parents should provide us later, and then we will send you. And please don't forget about your promise about business analytics and AI for business.
I,
Thank you very much.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll definitely jump onto that and
Yes.
I'll find some information.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
thank you to everybody that attended.
Yeah.
I
Thank
will
you.
be over obviously October. So anybody that wants to
Yes.
meet up or speak to me, please feel free to come and see me when I'm over.
Yeah, thank you and happy weekend. Have a nice weekend. Và như thầy Lawrence vừa nói thì sáng ngày mùng 6 tháng 10, sáng chủ nhật ở tại khách sạn Melia thì On Campus cùng các trường đại học hàng đầu của Ireland sẽ tham dự triển lãm du học Ireland do Smart A và Education in Ireland tổ chức, và rất mong các anh, các chị và các bạn sẽ có mặt trong cái buổi triển lãm đó buổi sáng ngày chủ nhật mùng 6 tháng 10, và hẹn gặp lại tất cả mọi người ạ. Em xin trân trọng cảm ơn. Bye bye, Lawrence. Bye bye, Quỳnh Anh.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you so much for having us. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.